Good morning and welcome to this marvelously wet Monday. Oh my goodness, I checked our rain gauge just now and it said we've had already 2 inches of rain and they expect us to get another inch. So, I hope you've got some good inside tasks done. Be a good day to get ahead of some of the schoolwork, get a bunch of it done today, and you'd be all set for the week when it is supposed to warm up near the end. So, we are down to 2.5 weeks of school. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. This year is going crazy fast. Let's look at the jobs we have going on for this week. We are on Monday today. I will help you with this in this video. You've also got your story problem for the day. If you want to get that dug out for the next video, you are on Unit 2, Day 11. It's a problem about packing grapes if you need to pull that out. Today's job is to review those 4s. Make sure you have those all set up because the rest of the week is dedicated to 8s. And if you know your 4s, your 8s are just double whatever the 4's answer was. That's how they connect in. So if you have those under control, 8s won't be as bad. And then you've got Total 10, which I will have a video up later for explaining how to play that. So let's dive into this. The directions say, solve each problem, then write the sum in standard form. So she gave you the example of 16 tenths plus 8 tenths is actually 24 tenths, which would come out to 2 wholes and 4 tenths. And I'll show you that in a second. And then your standard form would be to say 2 wholes and the decimal point to show I'm switching over to my decimal value. I had 4 in the tenths place. Okay, so there's that. Let's go. I got the first one all written out for you right here, and I'll show you this one. I have 14 tenths plus 9 tenths, and that's supposed to come out to some amount of tenths, which will be then a certain amount of ones and tenths, and a standard form is just write it like normal. So let's look at this. You're just going to have to trust my counting because I promise you it's right. I don't want to sit here and make you watch me count to 14. I've got 14 tenths. That's this. Oops. 14 tenths plus 9 tenths. There's a picture of what she's actually saying here. 9 tenths. The question is, how many does that give me? Well, if I had 14 of something and 9 more, how many does that give me? If you're thinking 23, you're right. Okay? So I have technically 23 of these tenths rods. The question is now, how many holes is that? So if I shoved these together, how many would it take to make a hole? How many of these 23 would I be declaring as 1 hole? If you're thinking 10, good for you, because in the case of these, this isn't a 100 block anymore because I'm calling them tenths and things like that. This is now my hole, and it would take 10 of these to fill up a hole. So there went 10 into that hole. Can I get another hole into that? I had 23, I got rid of 10, leaves me with 13. So yes, I can put another hole into that. 10 of them went into being this hole. How many do I have left that are still tenths? I have 3, and I can't split those into anything else. There's not enough to make another hole. There's no point in splitting them into hundredths, so I ended up with 2 ones and 3 tenths left over. Now in standard form, 2, my whole number, will be on the left side of the decimal. And if you think back to those first few videos we did, and we had those little graphs where it went tenths, hundredths, thousands, da 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 da. Tenths are the first place value after the decimal, and I have 3 of them. So there's my standard form. Okay? Let's look at another one. If you can beat me to it, good for you. Let's pull this one off. Here was the next one on that lineup. It says 3 hundredths plus 6 hundredths is how many hundredths? So, remember, if I'm calling this a hole, 1 whole rod was a tenth, so a hundredth is just 1 little piece of it, or these. So there's my 3 hundredths, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there we go, plus 6 hundredths is how many hundredths? Well, I have 3 hundredths plus 6 hundredths. I hope you're already ahead of me in your head and you know that that is 9 hundredths, which in word form is super easy. In standard form is going to take a little bit, because if I line these up on here, I will still have 9, but does that give me a tenth at all? Did I ever fill up a whole row like I did with the other example? I don't. I have this one little spot left. I know it's hard to see orange on orange, but I have one little spot left down here with nothing on it. So in my standard form, I don't have any holes because I never filled up a whole block. I don't have any tenths because I never filled up a whole row, but I do have 9 of those hundredths. So there's that one. That one was a little bit faster, as long as you knew to fill that in. If you messed it up and put your 9th in your 10ths place, go back and fix it, because that's not the same number that I was showing you here. All right, well, let's look at this guy. This one does get a little bit different. And this one, again, you're just going to have to trust me. I pre-counted these for you. Here was your 5. And here are 27 hundredths. Okay? Oops, I missed one. Here's your 27. So, here's my 27 hundredths plus my 5 hundredths. If I added those together, I'll do a little bit of partial sums here. It would, if I took 3 out of this one, I'd be at 30, left me with 2, so I must have 32 hundredths. Basically, I did this. I put 27 and 3 together, got 30 plus 2, 32. Now, though, if I took these, put them all together, and tried to build them up on a block, I would have 10, 20, 30, and 2 more. Okay? Now, this 10, 20, 30 would have actually turned into these. Sorry, I keep bumping your video. I'm trying to reach these things. All right. So now I had these little 30 blocks that I'm going to call 3 tens rods instead. That's how that works. And 2 of those. So in this case, I don't have any holes. I never filled up a whole block, but I do have some tenths, and I have 2 hundredths left over. All right. Now this last one is for you to send to your teachers, but I'll read it for you. It says number 4 is for you to send in. That's the one I'm reading right now. 7 ones, 2 tenths plus 4 tenths is, she didn't put in a spot for some reason for ones, but there are still ones. They don't just disappear. So you have how many ones and how many tenths. Your teachers are looking for the standard form. Okay? Have a good day, guys.